England take on the mighty Greece on Thursday. This is it on Thursday night because they are in the Nations League, League B.
Didn't need to say that.
I'm not sure if I said it already.
Are they not top of Nations League?
I
level B,
I don't watch the Nations League B anyway. I won't
you
lie.
watch England next year.
I
they'll
more
be in
only
yours.
watch League A. Harry Kane is on the bench, slight injury. John Stones is captain. There's a few things. I mean, I like Lee Carsley though, so I'll be watching just to see what he comes up with this time.
Yeah, it's been different. I think he's got a new set of eyes on it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's easier at this point when it feels like you're more of an interim and you can make some decisions which aren't necessarily going to be held against you in the long run. But it is good to see that John Stones is captain. Like, he's one of my favourite players that City have had. You know, one of the best England centre-backs they've probably ever had. So for him to get the chance to lead England out, it's great. And to be fair, when I think about England-Greece, I think about David Beckham in 2003 at Old
Was it
Trafford.
one to qualify for 02, no? Maybe?
Was it 02? Yeah, maybe it was actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was 2001,
02.
yeah. And that was played at Old Trafford, wasn't it? I remember on the day England were having a bad time. Beckham was taking free kick after free kick after free kick and nothing was happening. Then he scored that goal which against them, which was, I think, proved to be the winner and the goal they needed to qualify. That's an iconic moment.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So he's going to step up and take a free kick this time. Maybe it's Cole Palmer, who knows?
Oh, would you play him as a 10? There's the only thing I'm interested in, not the only thing, but the thing I'm the most interested in is how Lee Carsley is going to try to fit in everyone from Trent to Palmer to Foden to Bellingham. Because Saka is easy. He's a right winger. Find somebody on the left.
Yeah.
Maybe a Grealish. I think that balances rightly your two wings, but then it's who you play in that middle area.
Do you want to hear something that's a bit controversial?
You put Foden on the bench?
No. I say it screams of a false nine.
Oh, so you put Kane on the bench?
Well, Kane's on the bench now.
Yeah, but like as in,
I think for the talent that they have, if they were in a world whereby false nines were more accepted within English football culture, then playing a false nine would allow them the ability to be able to have more sort of possession in the central areas, but then also allow the wingers to be staying high and wide like some of them do for their clubs, which could pin a back four in. And then you think about the creativity that could exist.
Absolutely.
Between
oh my
Foden,
God, I
Palmer
want
and
Nedum
Bellingham.
England, next England manager, please.
Listen, that's never going to happen.
England head coach.
Tell me something more iconic. Well, to be fair,
I want to see this.
I was going to say
idea.
something more iconic than an England number 9 was like an England centre back with like a white bandage over their head and blood pouring down their face. So yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. But
never say never. That's what I would say.
This is true.
Never
this
say
is
never.
true. This is true. So Jules, do you have some news about former Chelsea legend Claude Makelele?
So I've had news in the summer because we bumped into each other at the Euros in a bit of a party, and Claude was on top form. I'm happy to report. And then he took this weird job with Asteras Tripolis only a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, really? So when I've actually bumped into him quite a lot recently. So it's funny, and we get on really, really well. We like each other. And I had the impression that he would not want to go back to a coach. You know, he was doing like a lot of UEFA analysis of games. You know, there was a lot of things going on in his life. Like, so then he goes to Tripolis, which is in Moldova.
If you say so.
I'm sure producer Freddie is going to double check. And I'm like, okay, well done. Good luck for that one. At least it's different. It's a little bit exotic. It's good. Probably the level is not too big in Greece. Sorry, did I say Moldova? No, Greece. In Greece, and he stays 3 games, and then he quits because he says that there was too much interference from the owner. But at least he's unbeaten, 1 win and 2 draws. Okay. So a bit like Sam Allardyce with England. Claude Makelele, a very short career at Asteras Tripolis, but at least an unbeaten one. So well done to him.
That's fair. That's fair. Also, I need to correct myself. I said former Chelsea legend. He's a former Chelsea player that is a legend.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
True.
We'll never put some respect on his name.
Yeah. He would appreciate that, Claude, I'm sure. Nedum, I'm sure many listeners remember Djibril Cisse. Who did you play with?
I played with Djibril Cisse.
You played with and against, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. He was actually an important part of my time when we were at Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah.
So in 2012, when we stayed up on the last day after Man City won their first league title, Djibril scored that day to start with. But more importantly, he signed in the January like I did, and he scored some of the biggest goals that season, not least of all the week before when we were at QPR and we played against Stoke. He scored in our last home game in the 93rd or 94th minute.
Yeah, I remember that as well, vaguely.
That was the winner that took us outside of
Out
the
the
bottom
bottom
three,
three,
heading
yeah.
into the last game of the season against Man
Yeah.
City. Without that goal, I think we go down with the same result.
Yeah.
So he was important. Such a nice guy. Was desperate to just score goals. Like the thirst for goals from Djibril,
I know,
astonishing.
And I played against him when we were, because he's a year younger than me. He's 81, I think.
Yeah.
And we played when he was playing before making his debut for Oxford. He played in the reserve in the 4th division. We played against each other. He scored 4 goals. We lost 4-0. He scored 4 goals. It was unbelievable. And I think without the really bad injuries that he got, when he was at Liverpool, he would have had a much better career than what he had. But anyway, so
he didn't struggle. But to be fair as well, this is where I realised that I'm old. You're talking about him being younger, older, and whatever, and I'm thinking, well, my former teammate. So his son has made his debut for Notts County.
yeah, exactly. So another Cisse,
Yeah,
he's on the scene now.
yeah. Another Cisse is on the scene, and more power to him because I think the work for his son to get the opportunity is obviously great. Everyone working behind the scenes, and he definitely would have had the support of his father, his mother, his rest of his family.
Yeah.
And I'm sure as a parent, you must feel so proud when one of your kids ends up doing the same thing that you did.
So Cassius is his son. Yeah, he plays for Notts County in League Two, and he made his debut at Northampton. It was, I think, on Tuesday night. Or
yeah, we'll take that. Listen, we'll take it. We'll take that all day long. But also, Jules, we could see another Maldini wearing the Italy shirt this week.
Oh, this is one of my favorite stories of this international break, Neds, because Daniel Maldini, who is obviously Paolo's son, Cesare's grandson, has been called up for the first time for Italy by Spalletti. Plays for Monza. He's 23 tomorrow, so we record the show on Thursday night. Tonight on Thursday morning. Tonight on Thursday night there's Italy-Belgium. We mentioned that already. I don't know if Daniel will play, but tomorrow on Friday is his 23rd birthday. And 64 years after his granddad made his Italy debut, 36 years. Let me do that again. 64 years after his granddad made his Italy debut. 36 years after his dad made his Italy debut, now Daniel Maldini could make his Italy debut as well. Have three generations of Maldini. Heritage now, isn't it? And Cesare, Paolo, great defenders. Daniel is a 10 or an attacking midfielder if you want, with like really lovely technique and stuff.
So
Same face.
So he's the black sheep in the family. Yeah?
A little bit, yeah. and I think if you're Paolo and Cesare, you're like, oh, why did you have to be different? Why can't you just have another defender, another Maldini that is one of the best defenders in the world? But good luck to him, really. I think it must be amazing. I think the Good Johnson with Iceland, Eido, son and father, and Marcos Alonso as well, I believe.
Yeah.
3 generations of Spanish internationals, but it's really, really rare. So well done to the Maldini. It must be amazing. Like, imagine in the house where you've got the 3 shirts. Oh my word. Amazing. Neds, what happened to Axel Tuanzebe this week? That was quite unusual.
Listen, you think that playing football is dangerous. Have you ever tried to wash dishes before?
I've got a dishwasher, so I usually put a lot of stuff in the dishwasher.
Oh, okay, that's fair. This is well for you. But most of us, the rest of us, we just wash dishes the normal way. But unfortunately for Axel, it appears that did he cut his thumb and he nearly had to have it amputated?
I know. It must have been a pretty bad cut.
That's a bad cut. I think he's meant to be out for a month as well.
Yeah.
I think given the fact that, you're back in the Premier League and you want to make a good account for yourself, to have to sit out because you nearly cut your thumb off while doing dishes. It seems like one of those ridiculous stories from, remember the show back in the day? Was it Footballers' Wives or something?
Yeah. I remember that.
Or some ridiculous show from back then. Let's create the wildest storyline possible and then just say, so unfortunately Axel's out because, the plate cut him as he was trying to clean it. No, that's...
Did you have any weird injuries? Because remember, Rio Ferdinand is, I think, one of the most famous one for her injuring his knee because he was in the sofa with his leg on the coffee table for too long watching TV and that. But did you have anything like that?
No, nothing like that. Most of my injuries actually came from just stupid things on a football pitch. But those type of things, I think what makes it worse is how's Axel going to try and describe that to his club doctor? I need help because my thumb's falling off. Why? What happened? Well, I was just doing...
just dangling oh no!
Yeah, give me a thumbs up if you're okay. Sorry, that's sorry. I want Axel. I'm sorry.
We like you, and
sorry.
he played every game so far. He was a big part of their team. So without him,
big part of their promotion, big part of them potentially staying in the league this year. So I think he's got to be hugely disappointed, and the manager's just probably disappointed, confused, and just hoping that in the future, I don't know, just hire someone.
Same. If you go, when do you go and see Kieran McKenna and say, "Hey, Gaffer, Sorry, I've had this little problem last night at home.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God.
It's a weird one, but anyway.
Yeah.
Sonia Van Pastor won her first Champions League game with Chelsea, Jules.
Lovely pronunciation, Nedum. Yeah, she did against
merci.
Real Madrid on Tuesday night at Stamford Bridge. That was capped, I thought, weirdly at 5,000 fans.
Why was it capped?
I don't know. I guess maybe policing. I suspect, it cost a lot to police a full stadium or even like a half full Stamford Bridge. So
what's the capacity at Kings Meadow, or could they not have played there?
So I think Kings Meadow is under 5,000. I wonder if so. I've been there for. I was going to say because, for example, Arsenal can't play at Boreham Wood because you can't have the gantry for the commentary. So it's not UEFA, accepted by UEFA. I wonder if Kings Meadow. I was going to say I wonder if Kings Meadow is the same, but I'm sure I went there when they played PSG in the Champions League, for example, not that long ago. So I don't know. I guess it's great for the players to play at Stamford Bridge more than Kings Meadow. I've got nothing against Kings Meadow, but Stamford Bridge is Stamford Bridge, even with just 5,000 fans. But a really good 3-2 win, although stuff to work on defensively. And to be fair, Real Madrid could have snatched a draw late. Linda Caicedo had a massive chance to make it 3-3 in the end. But Bonpastor's just arrived, and maybe the biggest test, even more than Real Madrid at home, will be Chelsea, as we said, Arsenal away at the weekend. But it's a good start for her. I really like her. I think she's got so much going for her, and I really hope she succeeds there, because it's not easy to come after Emma Hayes.
No, absolutely.
So I really want her to be good there.
For sure.
Our friend Greg Berhalter, remember him? He's back on the bench, Nez. He's at the Chicago Fire, and as the manager, and also the role of director of football. Good luck to him, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think he's overly popular online and stuff due to some of the stories and stuff that have come out. But having never worked with him on a day-to-day basis, I don't know whether some of that's fair or unfair. I think the job of US men's manager, especially as an American, was a tough one because the expectation is very, very high.
Yeah.
And I think some of the inner workings of it will always be spoken about, will always be exposed, and the culture is winning or nothing, essentially. So I think performance-wise, they obviously could have done more. Maybe some people felt it was out of his depth, but I think for him going back into MLS, I think he can make that work. I don't think Chicago have a long, rich history of being successful, to be honest. True. So it's definitely going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
But if you are a manager on the sidelines trying to make the team as good as you can, but you feel you need help in the boardroom, well, it helps when you're in the boardroom as well as director of football.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I was going to say, is that weird to you?
It feels weird to me.
I don't believe anybody else right now in one of the big leagues. I don't know about like smaller leagues, but if you count MLS as one of the big leagues with, let's say, the big five in Europe plus Portugal, Eredivisie, those kind of leagues, I don't know of any managers who's also his own boss.
No. I've not seen that before, and I'd like to know if he applied for both roles at the same time. But
two different CVs.
Yeah, well, maybe he got a director of football job first, and then he applied for the manager's job, and he decided to give himself the job.
Yeah,
that's the way it could work.
That's amazing.
Yeah, listen, it's good work.
Great
if you
process.
Get it. Yeah. I don't think. To be fair, maybe it's been done before. I'm thinking about it. I think Mark Bowen at Reading did something similar.
Really?
Yeah, I think he was director of football, then ended up being manager. But Reading is a thriving football club currently, so.
I don't know. I found that a little bit strange, but why not? And maybe this is just to be like an old school English manager where you deal with transfers and you deal with everything. And
listen, one thing I'll say,
two caps.
MLS does not work like English football, but he's also somebody that's had experience over there. And I think trying to help Chicago Fire be significant again is going to be a big task, especially out east when you've got the likes of Inter Miami and all types of things like that. So after the Wanda and the Civitas Metropolitano, we have a new name for the Atletico Madrid stadium.
I think they changed name more than anybody else in the world. They changed names more than anything in their own club, it looks like. Because you're right, it's called now the Riyadh Air Metropolitano. I had nothing against Wanda or Civitas, but now they've signed a very lucrative deal with Riyadh Air, which is the Saudi airline company.
Yeah, that's right.
You say. For the next 9 years, I believe, 8 or 9 years, something like that. So for the first time on October 20th, they will play at home to Leganes, where it will be officially become the Riyadh Air Metropolitano. I don't know who really says that name. I've rarely said, I don't know. I'm not sure how many people are going to really say the Riyadh Air Metropolitano, but because you can say the Metropolitano and everybody would know who you're talking about and what stadium that is. But it's
How old is the stadium?
Oh, it's a good question. I would say maybe 2017, 2018. I think
the fact
like
that it's
that.
relatively new will probably help the fact it's been named again.
But I thought naming rights for stadiums were very often very long for a reason. Etihad, Emirates being, I believe, like 10 years, stuff like that. Because what's the point? If you're a brand, to just have a 1 or 2 year, I think to have an impact and some sort of effect, positive effect, you need it on a longer base. So people keep hearing that the brand is the Civitas or the Wanda or the Ria there. And then otherwise, it probably pass you by, no?
Yeah, for sure. I would agree. But I think in terms of this discussion, what I would say is that every time I hear about something happening in La Liga, it seems like there's an element of fluidity in terms of how they do business, whether it's Barcelona selling the club or Real Madrid buying whoever they want. So this Riyadh Air thing, you say it's 9 years?
I think it's 9 years. But you know what's really fascinating about naming rights for a stadium? I really like it because it could be a great name. And also, for all you know, it could be like a brand that you don't like as a fan. And maybe there's some Atletico fan who don't like the fact that, it's a Saudi brand that, But Spurs, for example, are still working on that. It's not a dig at Spurs. I'm just saying that it's also who you pick and when. And if you believe that you can get more money, and so you pass on Wanda and Civitas and Riot Air, which is maybe what Spurs have done. So some clearly go quickly, and Atletico have had 3 in the space of a few years. As we said, Spurs are still waiting for their first one even. So it's interesting how clubs' policy in terms of naming the stadiums go, because I'm sure Spurs could have agreed a long time ago with a brand, but maybe the name of the brand and the history of the brand was not what they wanted, or the amount of money was not they wanted, or the length of the contract was not they wanted. All of that for Atletico doesn't seem to be a problem. We could have pitched for like a Nedum Onuoha Metropolitano.
I ain't got the money for that, my friend.
Are you sure?
I ain't got the coffers for that. But anyway, looking forward to that game on October 20th at the Riyadh.